Let's go! LSU gets the job done, but today we're going to break down what they did well and what is still an issue, okay? So obviously chapters are listed down below if you want to fast forward to any play in this film study. And of course we are starting off here with the major adjustment that DARONTE JONES and Ed Orgeron made to rush 3 and drop 8, okay? I did not think that they would actually do this, but ultimately it worked, even though we give up an easy pitch and catch here for about 10-ish yards. So, yes, I understand it was a little bit weird, but we're going to talk about the rush 3, drop 8 mentality throughout this film study. So, buckle up. Let's go. 1st and 10. And this was actually a run to the left that we should have stopped for at least no more than 5 yards. And here's the thing. Who cares if they're running the football? Once again, this gets into defensive philosophy and some analytics here, okay? Number one, we know Mississippi State doesn't want to run the football. That's not what Mike Leach wants to do. But when you give them a light box like this, it forces them to run. And this obviously threw Mike Leach's game plan off. And it obviously frustrated him because he made a lot of questionable time management decisions in the first and second half of this game. And Ali Gay, who was unblocked from the backside, if you're an NFL defensive end, you got to be able to make this tackle. They got away with a little bit of a hold here on Baskerville. Part of the reason why he didn't make this play. 2nd and 5 right here. Okay. They get a high snap. Good job by Neil Farrell. He had a really good game. Splits through this center. You could tell he wasn't supposed to be unblocked because this offensive lineman's trailing him. We force this play to go to the outside. Baskerville does a good job filling the run right here, okay? Now, hopefully LSU sees this on film. Notice we only have 3 guys at the line of scrimmage, whereas against UCLA, we would oftentimes line 4 guys, 5 guys, sometimes 6 guys. We would bring a safety in to bring 8 guys close to the box. You would think that they would be able to run on us easy, but no. That odd front is tough to identify who to block. Whereas in a 4-3 even front, where you're more gap aligned, it's a little bit easier to block at times, okay? So, good stuff right here. Notice they get a really good double here by Ojulari, but Ojulari does a good job eating these blocks and leaving Micah Baskerville unblocked. Something else that's really good about playing your linebackers and safeties further back is that they don't get caught up in the mush. It's a longer distance for these linemen to get to block these guys, and you notice it gives Baskerville more room to scrape. If this running back was cutting in here, he would fill right here. If he's cutting to the outside, he would fill right there. So it's just smarter to do that. And against UCLA, LSU just kept stacking their guys into the box and getting caught up in the wash. They did. I don't know if Mississippi State expected LSU to line up like this, but this is obviously the big CORDALE FLOTT fumble, and essentially, they throw this underneath drag. And look at this. Once again, our guys attacking downhill. This was just like the Stingley fumble from last week. Look at how clean that ball came out. It reminds me of the forced fumble CORDALE FLOTT made against Missouri, where he actually poked the ball out. Good block here by Major Burns, and now we're off to the races. This is really good blocking right here by LSU, okay? Smart move by Neil Farrell not to get a cheap hit on the quarterback, even though it would have been clean right there. Really good stuff. This is just really good stuff. No dumb penalties. We had a blindside block penalty on a return last week. Good, clean football. So once again, you'll see it from this angle. Getting downhill, we're attacking them by not attacking the line of scrimmage pre-snap, if that makes sense, okay? Good, clean play. So here we go. It's 1st and 10. All right? So guess what? Mississippi State decides to do the same thing they're doing to us defensively. If the box is this light, okay? This is basically a 3-man box, okay? Look at how far back they are. Once again, you don't have to establish a run, but we have to be able to run against this. And if the box is this light, it's smarter just to run more direct at it instead of running outside zone, which is something we haven't been able to block. And essentially here, Liam and Jason Hines gets blown up by this defensive tackle, mostly Liam here. and he makes this play on his own. I mean, so we get to here. It's a second down play, and we're running a little screen here, I believe, to KAYSHON. No. This is a play action fake. Good stuff right here. This is really good offense right here by Jake Peetz. And this is something I have to, once again, I like his defense. I like how exotic he gets. But I'm not going to lie, Zach Arnett called a really bad game. It's like he didn't watch the film last week. This is the beauty of play-action fakes, okay? Play-action fakes still work even if you can't run the ball, okay? We play-action fake. We get this guy coming hard downfield, and now we have numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And because that guy bit on this play action, or if it was a run blitz, either way, that leaves open the space for Jack Bech. Easy pitch and catch. That should be there all season long. Now we get this 3rd and 1 situation. And once again, Max's QB sneaks this year just haven't been as effective as they were last year. This is a little bit more creative as far as running the football is concerned. I still don't like stacking so many guys tight in there, especially when our run blocking isn't that great. But where this play was made was by Ed Ingram, and a great double right here by Mashburn and Dellinger. Ingram does a good job washing 94 out. Good double. And now we just got to cut up in there and just get this yard. Good run by TDP getting tough. And look at what we're doing with this double. That's nasty. I like that. All right, so it's 1st and 10. Got a fresh set of downs. And they're bringing a blitz. And once again, this is just too much pressure. Chase and Hines really had a rough day at the office. But even then, good stuff by Max. Once again, old Max Johnson would sprint 20 yards backfield. You just got to step up into this pocket. Good job by BTJ to just sit and give Max a clean window to throw this ball. And look at the athleticism for BTJ to not put his knee on the ground to make this catch. He not only catches it, and he quickly gets upfield. No wasted movement. Put a little shake and bake on him. He gets a few extra yards on 19. This is really, really, really good stuff right here. So we're handing this football off here on 2nd and 1, and Chase and Hines, once again, just gets pulverized here, okay? I mean, he is just getting massacred by 94. There was nowhere to go with this. Really good stuff by TDP to bounce this and get this yard. And even though if he's not spectacular and his broken tackle percentage is low and all those things, who gives a rep? If you do the little things right, you can win football games with them. Okay, so true freshman mistake here. This is a difficult block, but if you're a Division I wide receiver, you got to be able to make this block. This is a good play call right here because their corners are playing off and they're in the red zone. Field is compressed, so we're getting a good, easy throw here, and BTJ just blows this block right here. You've got to, with the same velocity you run your routes, you've got to get after it as a blocker, and this play just gets blown up, okay? Once again, Jack Bech was blocking okay right here. These are difficult blocks, and once again, they're not used to it. You're not asked to do this in high school, okay? And if you are, you're going up against an athlete far inferior to you. Okay, when you go to play 7-on-7s, you don't practice blocking, but still, it's got to be better. Now, once again, I know it sounds like I'm just picking on him, but goodness gracious, Chase and Hines, for the 2nd straight year, cost us points in this game, and it cost us 7 points right here. Okay, so 2nd and 10, what happens is this defensive end attacks the B gap. And we communicate this really well. Austin Deculus picks up this guy, and look, we're picking these blitzes up really, really, really well. Okay, so Chase and Hines' job is to block this guy coming from the inside. Okay, and notice what happens. He leans. Okay, you don't want to lean into guys. Okay, because you lose all your leverage. And he might have been stepped on right here, okay? This happens way too much on the LSU offensive line. Sometimes it's just unlucky. A lot of times it's just unlucky. But if he was stepped on and that's what ultimately caused him to fall, It does happen just way too often at LSU, and he just gets pulverized into Max, and we're lucky this ball just floated down. But if Max is kept clean, he throws his football into this window for a touchdown. Now, it would have been a tight window, but still, this is what really sucks when you get bull rush like this. You're folding up on your quarterback, who then folds up on Dellinger, okay? So that almost hurt two of our guys right there. So now we get to hear this is a KAYSHON Boutte's touchdown, his first touchdown. And this is just Max Johnson making a really good play and an even better decision by the LSU pass protection coaching staff here, okay? Blitz pickup was bad overall, but it was really good on this play, okay? So, what Zach Arnett's 3-3-5 odd front does is it does a good job opening up alleys of interior pressure. So what does LSU do? Well, instead, normally the running back just blocks the unblocked blitzer. But LSU said, look, for this game, since we struggle blocking the interior guys, we're just going to have TDP come in to help clean up pressure. Okay? So what happens here, though, and we just could not figure this out all day, this running back, this communication was just bad all day. Okay? The guard has to pick up the A gap, or the running back has to pick up the B gap, or opposite. The guard picks up this B gap, and the running back picks up the A gap. My preference would be the guard pick up interior pressure and the running back pick up the exterior pressure, simply because this is the more important guy to block. But we kind of get lucky here that we were able to get just enough. Liam did a good job making a last-second switch to pick up this A-gap pressure right here, and TDP got just enough, and all we need is Max to make this guy miss unblocked. Two hands on the football. He steps up and is able to make this play. Just really good stuff. But what you're going to see a little bit later is, since LSU could not ever get that communication right, you'll see that it cost us dearly in this game. And not adjusting on that type of protection is inexcusable. Every play that they're not throwing is a bonus. It really is. Okay? As long as you're not giving up explosive runs and explosive passes, we'll live with it. We will. Okay, three-man rush. They have all day to throw. Good. Let them hit this check down and let our guys attack down the field. And you notice he misses this because it was an inaccurate throw, but we had two guys right there. Okay? Well, we didn't get a good pass rush. So what? Keep everything in front of you. Here we go, 2nd and 10. See what they're doing here. Once again, good stuff. We'll let you take that check down all day. Just got to make this tackle. Good play by Cam. Good job, Cam Lewis. Open field tackle. 3rd and 8. So it's 3rd and 8, essentially the same thing. Okay? I thought Mason was, and once again, I don't know what he was coached up to do. I thought his defensive end performance was okay. He got decent pressure. We forced him to throw off his back leg. And we'll take this all day, every day. All right? So here we go, 1st and 10. And let's see what happens here. Ooh, Corey Kiner gets his first carry, and yeah, it wasn't the best day for Corey. Once again, let's see. All right. Oh, man. Okay, so this is really difficult for a running back to do. And Corey's actually done a really good job on these type of outside zone type of runs. But once again, if they over-penetrate these gaps, you want to wait and cut it backside. Fill it backside. It wasn't really there clearly. Once again, it's kind of tough to see this without end zone cam. But once again, we're just not getting any movement. And it's Liam just giving up so much pressure right there. So let's see here. 2nd and 11. We're rolling out to the right. We have someone trip right here. And Max actually throws this ball to Deion eventually. Really difficult throw, too. Okay? I like this action, though. Good route by Deion and a good catch. He tripped earlier in the route. What's good, though, is if Max pump fakes there, he could still hit Goodwin right here, too. I like that play. Thrown across your body. That's a really good throw. So we pick up the first, and now we're going tempo. I like this, okay? Now, Goodwin gets this carry. And let's see, could he have done more with this? Oh, yeah. Oh, Armani. Okay, so Armani actually showed this on his high school film. He is so good at planting and getting vertical when you see over pursuit from the backside, okay? So let's go on ahead and break this play down. We get a little unlucky. They call a run blitz, and because this end knew that Aaron Brule had contained on Max Johnson, it allowed him to crash down the line of scrimmage quicker, okay? So Goodwin here should see that there's nothing there. So we need you to plant and get vertical and cut it back to Dellinger's left, okay? Because 15 didn't have to wait for the zone read because he knew he had Brule, it allowed him to get vertical. Trey Bradford made this mistake against Ole Miss. We don't want you running this way. We want you cutting up and getting vertical. And it's a really ironic thing about Armani Goodwin. His high school film, he was really good at that. So he should have just planted and got vertical. There wasn't really a whole lot. That would have been a really difficult cut. We do get some yards out of it. But once again, when Goodwin sees that on film, knowing what he did in high school, he was so good at that particular cut, that run is going to be there for him. So we set up play action here. Let's see what happens. Trying to hit Jack Bech. Oh, yeah, this is just a bad miss by Max. Now, it's a really difficult throw. Probably waited a half second too late. We don't have the all-22, but when KAYSHON is that open, this is one of the Max is not good at this throw. Outside the hashes, rolling out and throwing it towards the sideline, it's been a problem. You got to complete this, though. Okay? You just do. It's a difficult throw with the guy pressing down on you. Okay, so we get the miss on on second down, and now we need to pick this up. Okay, they're running this twist. We pick everything up. Marlon Martinez is in for Chase and Hines. I would have made the switch a little bit earlier and stuck with it. Hines was an issue. Okay? Good protection overall. We got Max rolling out to his left. This is what you always want your quarterback to have. Easy contained break to the left. To his left side, you just got to catch that for the first down. It's so hard to run screens against a three-man front. Just because there's so many guys back, and they try and run this tunnel, bubble, wide receiver screen, and Jaquelin Roy did a good job retracing his steps and making this play. We get the second down, and once again, it's kind of the same thing. It's hard to run screens and shovels against this three-man front, and we defend this really well, okay? I don't know why the running back just ran into Mason Smith, but we'll take it. They just run typical mesh. We need our linebackers tighter so we can get off the field. This time we were just too deep. Okay? Our linebacker depth was not good here. We're just giving them this first down. On first down, that's a little bit more excusable, but right there you got to be a little tighter. So we jump off sides on first down, and now it's second down. We jumped off sides way too much in this game. Let's see. Yeah, I'd run against this too, especially with the wide defensive end right there and only one Mike. Roy actually does a decent job trying to fight off of this. And once again, even though they block it okay, we have this safety attacking downfield, and that's what we want. Our guys are really good tacklers when they're able to come downfield. Okay, so on the 2nd and 1, we just get mollywopped, okay? We don't need our nose tackle getting washed 20 yards down the field, okay? And that's essentially what happened. Once again, I'd rather them run the football than throw it, but that is just too many yards right there. Okay. First down. They pick up a few yards on a little screen there, okay? They're not beating us deep, and now we're setting up the 2nd and 5, excuse me, and this is the interception. Once again, we want you to see if you can fit the balls into tight windows, okay? Good read by Flott to drift off and make this pick. So once again, CORDALE FLOTT, you know, he's playing really good. He's the MVP of the defense through 4 games. He's really been that good. Legit, he's 4 for 4. All 4 games, he's been excellent. So here we go, 1st and 10. Sudden change. Oh my goodness. There's got to be somebody that says, look, we need to play Marlon Martinez. Okay? We whiff right here. Okay? This is not a difficult block either. Okay? All we want 93 to do is make sure he doesn't beat us to the inside and make this tackle on the back end. Okay, so Hines just gets, I don't know what happened. He matadors this guy, and what is TDP supposed to do about that? Well, he breaks these tackles and actually gets something out of nothing there. So, you know, what is you can't do anything when that's happening at guard. But guess what we do on 2nd down, okay? We go right back to it. Chase and Hines is struggling, so let's pull him and see what he does. Where the block was made, though, was by Cole Taylor. This is a way better rep for him. Hines does a good job getting this backside block good. Now we need Cole to clean this guy this way, okay? And he does a decent job of this. Really good job of this, actually. Once again, you want it to be tighter. You want him to come full speed at this guy, but he wanted to make sure he got this guy, boom. All right, and look at how skinny TDP gets. It's amazing how much better your running back looks when you actually get a hole. I think LSU needs to pull their offensive linemen more, okay? Because they've shown the ability to pull, okay? And look at how skinny he gets through this hole and gets all the yards he possibly could out of that. Really good stuff right here by TDP, and he actually did gain maximum yardage on this play. Good job with ball security as well. So good run right there by TDP. Really good stuff. We actually get some good run blocking, and he gets the job done. He does the same thing here. Okay, he sees that this end is over pursuing to the inside. You bounce it. Then he cuts and makes 14 miss and gets, once again, maximum yardage right here. This is really good stuff, okay? All right, 2nd and 4. Let's see what we got here. Okay, we do have to run a play before the play clock. And good protection. Good stuff, okay? Oh, yeah, we're getting away with a hold, though. Let's see here. Yeah, Yeah, once again, Liam's just not powerful enough at times, and this is just too much, okay? Now, if you're Max, you got to help your offensive line out here and not be so static right here. He's obviously waiting for something. Just run and take these yards right here, okay? You see all this open space? Just take that. You can't be that static in the pocket. We get away with the bad hold there, and now we just got to throw this away. Good job by Kiner picking that guy up. Alrighty, so once again, I hope you're enjoying this film study. We're getting into the 2nd quarter. Let's go. Oh, boy. We missed a big one here, and we'll show you a different angle who actually made the mistake here. All right, so they bring everybody, and once again, if you're the center or the guard, your number one goal is to block the interior gaps, okay? So the good adjustment LSU made was with their running backs to not block the outside guys. Just sit and help pick up A-gap pressure. Okay, so we do a good job here. The running back has to pick up the A-gap blitzer that the center doesn't pick up. Okay, and guess what? We pick it up perfect. Okay, TDP saw that Liam was picking up this guy. We're blocking everybody. And look at how clean of a pocket we have for Max to make this throw down the field. Okay, now it looks like it wasn't a great throw, and it wasn't the absolute best throw. Their corner is really good, number 13. Okay, so we want to try our best to hit them over the top. And we would have. Where the mistake was made, though, is that we were trying to run basically a rub route or a screen type of concept. So it's kind of like a pick and roll in basketball, okay? Cole Taylor needs to get a piece of number 13 right here, okay? And what he needs to do is shield him, okay? So you're allowed to not just hit a guy, but what you can do is you can run as hard as you possibly can into this space and just make sure that you're not just blocking this guy, okay? But what does Cole Taylor do? He allows this guy to come over the top of him, and that's just too soft. And once again, Cole Taylor just loses his balance way too often. Once again, he's 6'6". It's not your typical football frame, but we need you to get physical and get on this shoulder. All he had to do was just run and get upfield. Any better piece, all we need is just a little bit. Even if he would have just ran this way, all he had to do was just run into this space, and he would have bounced into him, and KAYSHON would have been left unblocked because Six kept running with him. But Forbes actually got catapulted. Doing this actually helped him because Cole actually pushed him this way to help Forbes get vertical, and that allowed him to get over the top of here. Now Cole would step up for us later in the game, and overall he had a good game. But, you know, we had it. We had it. Perfect play call, perfect blitz pickup, everything. Everything. You've got to execute that play a little better. Now, once again, I'm not as well versed on rub route rules, but still. Now, it's not often that you see punts here, but this is what I freaking love about KAYSHON BOUTTE. He is the best gunner on punt team I think I've ever seen. Okay, so this ball takes a weird bounce, okay? And it's just free. Now, watch KAYSHON make this play, okay? He goes underneath Baskerville, his own guy, and 11 makes this guy miss, and KAYSHON is right there to clean it up, okay? Look at this form tackle. Goodness gracious. I would prefer him to not be on punt team, but he's so daggum good at it, it's kind of hard to take him off of it. All right, 1st and 10, and they did a good job running this quick pitch. This is just a well-designed play, pull these guys around, but still, we're filling it well, okay? Good stuff. Yes, it was 4 yards. So what? 4 yards in a cloud of dust. All right, 2nd and 5. They're running a deeper crosser variation of this underneath route. Okay, throw, and he drops it. Okay, he heard footsteps. Once again, when you know that they're sitting back, you know you're about to get hit. You know LSU's about to chop your legs. It gets in your head a little bit. Whereas last year LSU's defense would have been running man coverage, and we would have just been running with this guy, and you know that you don't have to worry about getting hit on a drag route if you're in man coverage. But because you know that they're sitting back and stacking right there, you hear those footsteps. Okay. All right. This looks like a bad completion. Okay. This looks like it's a blown coverage, but honestly, this is not that bad. If you're a defensive coordinator, you just tip your hat sometimes, okay? So we're sitting back into, obviously, a deep zone. And this, honestly, is on Ali Gay here, okay? So they double-team B.J. Ojolari, okay? And they even bring a running back or a guard to help out here. So if you're Ali Gay, you have the one-on-one matchup. And you dominated Mississippi State last year, and he just did not get home. Fired off high, and 78's just dominating him here. Yeah, that's not good. We don't want that, okay? Second thing is, look at where he is throwing this ball. Baskerville probably should have gotten deeper right here, but if he's able to complete this throw into this window, he threw a pick on a very similar play. That took a perfect throw. Okay? I'm fine with that. Make them throw pinpoint throws such as that one, okay? Let's say Baskerville tips this ball and that he tips it. Well, that ball is floating in the air for a pick. Okay? I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Now, Ali Gay follows this up with a really nice pass deflection here on first down. Okay? And then Will Rogers caught it for whatever reason. So now it is second and a mile. Good play by Ali right there. And plus, this is his first game back. You can't get too critical. Now they're running a draw here. All right, Neil Farrell just blows us up, and they're actually trying to screen us. Once again, it is so hard to run screens against three-man fronts. Okay? Now, BJ, we need you to earhole this guy, and he does. Okay? Once again, I would have... he actually could have gotten a more vicious hit. We need you launching into him. Boom. Good stuff. You don't want to get a targeting. Good play. Okay? So what? Third and still a mile here. And this time they actually get us on basically the same concept. Austin Williams over the middle. Austin got us pretty good last year too. I guess he's just an LSU killer. And it's basically just the same thing. Okay? I don't know if the linebacker should have been deeper here. Okay? Good job by Williams finding the weak spot right there. Yeah, we're still in tight front with our defensive ends and four eyes, which is fine on first. Once again, it's just too much. It's not an explosive passing play, but this isn't good. Okay? We don't want guys running untouched to the sticks. We don't want to give up easy pitch and catch. Four eyes, I get it. So this is basically an Aranda tight front, but with no standing outside linebacker. So this is kind of what Arkansas does, rush 3, drop 8, and then run this quick pitch again, where they're pulling these guys, and we actually do a decent job filling. We just missed the tackle. Okay? Cam Lewis has just got to make this play. That's all there is to it. This should have been a 2-yard gain, and he just ran right by him. Okay? And Ed Orgeron elects to call a timeout. I'm fine with timeouts in the first half, just not in the second half of a game, unless you're using it to save time at the end of the game. Okay, I'm fine with it there though. 2nd and 1. Let's see. So Ed Orgeron out of the timeout says, "Look, I'm going back to what I know. We're going to do some 4-man fronts, and they're running the football here out of this 4-man front." And Neil Farrell just had a really good game. He really did. He just played really well. This time we actually time a run blitz, and we get a little unlucky here that they weren't throwing right there. Okay, that was a really good blitz call, and Baskerville actually timed this well. Just a good run underneath, and once again, just good football by them. All right. So Neil Farrell's blowing this play up again. And this is going to be the interesting thing. Okay, so if LSU goes back to a 4-man front against other teams, obviously they play TJ Finley next week. He's not a mobile quarterback. Bo Nix killed us with this last year out of our 4-man front running. Will Rogers can't run, so was this supposed to be a shovel pass here? I think. But Will Rogers just takes these yards. If we're playing a more mobile quarterback, he'll obviously do a little bit more with this. But that's fine. Okay? Mike Leach saw that we're playing off. So essentially they run just this underneath route. Good job by Austin Williams just sitting right there. And later in the game, he was able to muscle through a Damon Clark tackle for a touchdown. Good tackle there by Clark. All right, 3rd and goal. They try and run on us. And Neil Farrell makes the play again. Swim move over the top, get a whiff, and he makes his play. Again, Ojulari off the back end. One of Ojulari's best reps. They left him unblocked. You want to leave B.J. Ojulari unblocked? Do that at your own peril. Great play. Farrell blows this up. We're in the backfield just dominating here. Good play by BJ. Okay, you can see it a little better from right here. Look at this. Swim move over the top. And we're right there. BJ's coming unblocked. You'd like him to make the tackle. So what? He made the play. Forced him to slow down. Our guys are there to clean it up. Big Bad Brad, back by popular demand on TikTok. Here we go. 1st and 10. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Defense gets a good stop. Now we're getting play action here. Oh, I remember this play. Okay, so let's talk about this one. This play hurts my head. It really does. I don't know what Ed Ingram was doing. And this, okay, anytime you see an offensive lineman do this, it's normally their fault. I promise you. Now that I've watched more offensive line over the past year. All right, let's just start this over. Let's just start it over. Okay. Now, what Mississippi State likes to do is they like to get guys going inside and allowing Aaron Brule to come hot off the edge, okay? Now, Jake Peets has to coach his guys up from this point forward. If we're going to line up in tight bunches with our wide receivers, more often than not, the defense is going to automatically check into a blitz because we're not great in pass protection. So, full disclosure before we break this play down, it is very important to, understand that in all my breakdowns, I am not an LSU coach. I am not a coach of anybody. So, I don't know the play calls. I don't know what the players are taught. But I do know this is not what you want to do. And these are just my best educated guesses. So, what happens here is maybe Jack Bech was supposed to pick up this edge guy. I'm not sure. But TDP immediately sees that Brule is coming hot off the edge, okay? But what happens here is Ed Ingram, in his periphery, also sees Aaron Brule coming hot off the edge. And LSU actually made this mistake against Clemson in the national championship game as well. I know that's a deep cut, but it's true. The guard tries to make a hero block, okay? And he sees that Brule is coming unblocked. So he leaves his guy to go help with Brule, okay? The issue, though, is TDP was going over to hit Brule anyway. And remember this, okay? You always want to make sure you block interior pressure first. You've already seen on film, Max Johnson can make an exterior pressure player miss, okay? But what happens here is Ed Ingram leaves his interior pressure for some reason to go block Brule, okay? And because he left 5 unblocked, if he would have just stuck with number 5, Max made Brule miss, and he would have been able to sprint to the outside and make a play or throw it away. But because Ingram wanted to go block Brule for whatever reason, he left 5 unblocked to massacre Max right here. Football IQ. You've got to stay with your guy, okay? So what exterior pressure happens? Max made him miss, okay? TDP did a decent job of at least getting a piece of Brule. If he would have just stuck with him, Max wouldn't have been able to roll out. It would have been ugly. You just got to stick with your guy. You just got to stick with your guy. All right, so we get to this 3rd and 12, and this is good protection, better quarterback play. We pick up this twist stunt, okay? Good job by Jason Hines right here. It's one of his better reps of the day. Okay, this guy's going inside. He leaves him and then picks up his guy right here. Okay, good stuff. A little too much bull rush pressure here by Dellinger here. He got the help of a chip. So, once again, that's just too much bull rush there by Liam. So, this pocket collapsed on Max, but at least nobody came through clean. Okay? If you want to see Jack Bech's chips and compare it to Cole Taylor, be my guest. You can watch the Central Michigan game. We need you to get a piece of this guy. That's just too much. We need you to pop number 2 here. Once again, it's just soft. Okay? Launch into him and boom. Okay? Instead, we just kind of touch him. And we actually aid his rush here. Okay? So now 2 is turning the corner on Austin Deculus with some decent speed. And Deculus actually does a good job getting him upfield some. Okay? And notice Max doesn't have anywhere to step up. He still delivers his throw. But because we didn't get a good piece of 2 on the initial chip, Max is getting his back destroyed. Okay, so Cole's got to do better right there. It's got to be a pop. But BTJ with just a nasty route here on the backside. And, yeah, and he does BTJ things with the football in his hands. This was a really special game from him. Look at all the coverage KAYSHON BOUTTE draws. I mean, my goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4 guys. 4 guys. 4 guys. One more guy and he can launch a burger shop. I had to throw a dad joke in there for all the dads. Let's be honest. Most of you watching this are a dad. It is crazy like how many fries they put in the bottom of the bag. Anyone that gets fries from Five Guys, you are a monster. All right. Oh, yeah, this is a Max Johnson pick. Yeah, this is all on Max. 13 just dominated us all day. Okay, yeah, he got beat on the RPO touchdown in the second half. He did get concussed on the lucky touchdown we had late. But 13 is a really good football player. Keep your head up, Max. Got a lot of football left to play. Big Bad Brad, back by popular demand. Okay, once again, they hit this check down here. I can live with them being check down Charlies. Okay, once again, they pick up some good yardage here on this check down, which isn't ideal. Once again, they're not being this deep. I'll take it. look at LSU filled this run on second. Not bad, okay? Yeah, they get the first. Once again, this isn't Mike Jones's MO. We force. This is a good job by Mike, scraping underneath this guard. Look, he swim moves under that guard, and he's right there ready to fill. Good job by Joseph Evans running with this, and we're not dominating the line of scrimmage. We're winning it. We just need you to fill and get a better hit right here, Mike. But that was a good fill, okay? We'll take that all day. Good. They got a first down, those 3 yards. Who cares? We're filling the run better. It's a good job right there by Mike. And Ed Orgeron said Mike couldn't play the run. That's why he didn't play him against UCLA. So freaking what? It's more important to defend the pass anyway. He defended the run just fine against an unblocked backer right there. Play Mike Jones, okay? All right. 1st and 10. Yeah, he's got all day to throw. So what? Hit your check down, and then Eli Ricks doing Eli Ricks things. Boom! Good play, Eli. You young goat. I love this right here. You know the defense, you know CORDALE FLOTT is feeling it. He's pointing out his guy. That's good leadership right there. Show love to your fellow teammates when they make a good play. So a lot of people give Will Stout a lot of credit. He's with Alex Bregman now. He left LSU for USC. But Matt Tornquist is one of their best video guys. He is really, really, really good. So here we go, 3rd and 9. We have a 4-man rush here, so our traditional look. And we have our 4 best pass rushers out there. Our 2 best DT pass rushers are Roy and Smith. And this is good scouting right here by LSU. They struggle blocking twist. Okay, so we get our best twister, BJ Ojolari, coming underneath. And they actually do a good job picking it up. But BJ did a good job working over the top of there and getting some pressure right there to force this bad throw on the check down. So good play there by BJ to force this punt. All right, so this is going to sound like an over-exaggeration, but this is one of the best punt returns I've ever seen at LSU. Even though it was only for a few yards, we missed about every block, and TREY Palmer made something out of nothing. Okay, so what you're going to see here is at the snap of this football, Nick Demas, one of our backup running backs, a really good special teamer for LSU, misses this guy, okay? So he's beat by this guy at the line of scrimmage, okay? So that's the first missed block at the line of scrimmage, okay? So we're behind him, all right? Punter gets good hang time. Now, before we show you TREY's punt return, let's bring it back. We actually give TREY 2 guys to block their gunner, and we also have this young man blocking this gunner. I think this is Matthew Langlois. I'm not sure, okay? And what happens here is they run a twist stunt with their gunner, and instead this guy gets underneath both of these blockers, and Langlois does the smart thing. He picks up this guy now. But these 2 players did not do a good job picking up this twist, and we essentially whiff 2 guys when they punt the football, okay? So, obviously, Greg McMahon, a really good special teams coach for LSU, will pick that up, and we are screwed right here, okay? There should be no reason TREY Palmer gets any punt return yardage. But remember Nick Demas, our 5th-string running back, hustles and doesn't commit a block in the back penalty, but he helps TREY Palmer split these guys because he didn't give up on the play. Good hustle right there. But the fact that TREY was able to split these guys is ridiculous. He is flat-footed when he catches this and squeezes through right here. Look at that, and he keeps his footing and makes this guy miss. Good block right there by Langlois. And now we're cooking with grease, baby. That was a ridiculous punt return right there. And then TREY gets around another guy to pick up even more yardage. That's ridiculous, okay? All right. Yeah, our run blocking is just not where it needs to be. Ed gets stood up right here by this linebacker. We're not getting any movement. There's just nowhere to go. And obviously the ball handling issues right here by Max. We get a good snap. And it came hot. The snap might have been a little too hard, but still. We get some push there, just not enough. Okay? Derek Panamsky, Austin Thomas, the general manager. We got Alex Adams in here cheering on the guys. Let's see here, 2nd and 8. Yeah, Ed once again trips, and he misses his block again here. Corey did a good job making that guy miss and making something out of nothing here. We tried to get Kiner going. We got something there. It's a difficult block there by Ed, but, you want him to do a little bit better there. It's 3rd and 3. Who do you go to? Well, you go to Jack Bech, man. Rush 3, drop 8. Okay. Look at Bech. Good route, too. It's a really good route, okay? So, this is just really good, once again, football IQ right here by Jack Bech. So, this throw is not there, okay? But Bech works back towards Max Johnson, okay? And he gets to the inside of this linebacker to give him a window to actually throw this ball. And you could see it right here again, okay? So, this backer sits right here. This throw is not there. But you see, Bech works back inside and gives him a window. That's just really good. You don't remember this play at all because it was only like a 6-yard completion. But, God, that's just huge. To have a true freshman understand the game like that, it's crazy. All right, so 1st and 10. We have Cole Taylor blocking one of their better players. I think his name is Wheat. And he gives up the edge way too easy there. Okay? Wasn't the worst here by Cole. Not the worst, but still not good. Leaning in, not really getting a punch. Max has got to step up into this pocket. Once again, it's just dead. All right, so let's pick up the 2nd down play from the end zone camera. And once again, I would like to see LSU potentially move Brad Davis into the booth because we're obviously not seeing things well and we're not making good adjustments. This was actually an illegal chop block, and the reason why it was a chop block because we made the same mistake as earlier. Once again, you want to make sure A-gap pressure is blocked first, okay? So what they do is this guy is going this way. This guy is going this way. And this linebacker is coming over the top. Guess what? We read it. All right? We read where the pressure is coming from. Okay? And we're picking it up. Okay? Liam's picking up 93. So, where the mistake was made was we could not figure out the running back left guard communication. Okay? Now, once again, I am of the belief that the guard should pick up whoever's coming through the A-gap. And the running back should pick up whoever's going through the B-gap. Now, once again, I don't know what the call actually is. It could be that Corey Kiner is supposed to pick up the A-gap and Ed Ingram's supposed to pick up the B-gap. Okay? But what happens is we let the A-gap guy go untouched and we pick up the B-gap guy, which leads to 2 separate mistakes. The first thing is, once again, it's priorities. A-gap is always priority, B-gap's always the second priority, and so on and so on. Okay, for those that don't know, just from the start here, the A-gaps is the gap between the guard and the center. Okay? on either side. The B gap is a gap between the guard and the tackle. And the C gap is a gap between the tackle and the tight end, and so on and so on. Okay? So, we want to make sure we get the A gap pressure blocked. Okay? But what happens is, once again, we let the A gap guy go. All right? And then we commit another penalty. All right? They call it a chop block penalty. All right? And what a chop block is, you can't engage a linebacker and then the running back chip him. Okay, that's an illegal chop block. And the only reason a chop block happens is because Corey Kiner, who's an undersized running back, is taught to cut down whoever gets through clean. Okay? And because Ed Ingram didn't stick with him, we got an illegal chop block penalty, while at the same time we gave up a sack. Okay? Now, the second reason why it's very important to pick up A-gap pressure is because you guys have seen Max Johnson, just in this film study alone, make not one but two unblocked outside pressure guys miss. What you won't see is Max Johnson, and basically every quarterback that's ever existed, it's hard to make unblocked A-gap pressure miss because they're coming straight at you. And that's essentially what happens. It's hard to twirl out of it. And they're coming right at you, right down the barrel. We just could not block it. So, here we go. It's 3rd and 16, and ironically, Mississippi State did not take the penalty. Bad decision right there by Mike Leach. You definitely take a 15-yard penalty right there, which would have made it 2nd and 31, potentially, in theory. Or it would have been 2nd and about 16 because it was where the spot of the foul was. So we get a favorable decision there. It's 3rd and 16. They obviously want to get the football back to try and score. Okay? So that's fine. All right? 3rd and 16. And guess what? We almost completed. Okay? Good catch again by BTJ there. Good throw. So we get lucky. And guess what? We actually get good blitz pickup. Slide protect to the left. All right? Everything's picked up. Clean as a whistle pocket. No bull rush. No nothing. See what happens when you give your quarterback time? BTJ had a really good game. He makes a catch, almost breaks that tackle, and now it gets into decision-making time right here. The good thing is that not only did we complete the football, I have no idea why Mike Leach did not call a timeout here. It just doesn't make any sense. I definitely would have called a timeout before that 4th and 2. We then get to this spot, and we try to draw them off sides. I did not like this decision right here by Ed Orgeron. I understand that you get the football first to start the second half, but that's just too much time. And once again, they're going over, and Max really wanted to go for it. He really wanted to go for it. You could tell. The offense really wanted to go for it. I do not agree with punting here. So you guys know how I feel. I don't like conservative play calling on 4th down, such as punting. I give LSU a lot of credit on their first touchdown that they did go for it on 4th and 1 instead of kicking the field goal. I think they should have gone for it here. Now, I understand their logic. You're getting the ball first to start the second half. I totally get it. However, you do have about a 3 and 5 chance to pick up 2 yards there just by looking at all 3rd and 2s and 4th and 2s around college football, and you're looking at a 4th down bot analytic that said it was a strong disagreement to punt there, that LSU should have gone for it, and at the very least they should have kicked the field goal. Okay, you have Cade York. The weather is absolutely perfect. This would have been a 57-yard field goal. Maybe Ed Orgeron doesn't like cheese. I don't know. But Cade York just got the sponsorship deal. 57 yards is well within reach, and we decide to punt the football, okay? With 48 seconds left, which is more than enough time for them to drive down the field to get a field goal. So, yeah, once again, the ball was right here at the 41. Mark off 7 yards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It would have been a 57 or 58 yarder. I would have tried to kick it. I would have tried to kick it. Or go for it there. But we get conservative and we punt the football here. Man, I don't know. I just think you got to go for it there, or at least try to field goal with your kicker. So Mississippi State gets the ball back, and Mike Leach, this is brutal. This was absolutely brutal coaching from him. I thought he was bad at the end of the second half, but really looking back at this, he was so bad at the end of the first. Here's part of the reason why I don't like the punt decision from LSU, because if you play rush 3, drop 8, that is a good defense to prevent touchdowns. But in this case, all Mississippi State is playing for here is basically a field goal, and they pick up an easy 8 yards here, and they elect to not use any of their 3 timeouts, even though they're down by 4, and LSU is getting the football back to start the first half. So part of our conservative decision to punt this football at the end of the half was aided by Mississippi State's lack of smart play calling. Also right here, you see Ali Gay. Yeah, you got to be smarter than that. You're an experienced guy. You're one of the smartest guys on the team, and you can't get caught up in that. So he almost had a 15-yard penalty there, which would have been crucial there. So obviously you got to tighten that up. But once again, Mississippi State elected to bleed all this time off the clock with 3 timeouts in their back pocket, and all you have to do is get in the field goal range for points. So this was just brutal. If you're a Mississippi State fan watching this should enrage you, because LSU was giving you yards in this situation. So once again, it wasn't the absolute best from either one of the coaches, but this was blatantly clear. Ed Orgeron and his staff outcoached Mississippi State and their staff. Now, obviously, the second half was a little bit more even, but still, I just think LSU came out with a really smart game plan. The rush 3, drop 8, and make them be check down Charlies, make them run the football. That was really smart. Now, obviously, offensively for LSU, you know, this was a really good half for them. But the protection issues are still there. The offensive line issues are still there. But there were some encouraging things. The first thing, obviously, was TDP had his best half of football of the season. He really got skinny, and as you guys saw today, he was able to produce some plays that weren't really there. So I give him a lot of credit there. The second thing was Brian Thomas Jr. was really freaking good in this football game. So to see both of those guys emerge was really, really good. And obviously the major takeaway is, how did your quarterback play? Max Johnson was not good, not great, but pretty phenomenal on the road with the Cowbells in a very hostile 11 a.m. environment. So I got to give Max a lot of credit. He played really well in this first half. Obviously missed some throws, but also had some catchable balls that were dropped. There are some things he needs to work on. Also, in our second half film study, just a tease, Max Johnson actually had a first for his personal development as a quarterback. I could not believe this stat. I researched this actually during the game, and it was true. Max Johnson's throw to Trey Palmer for the touchdown was a first. And we'll share that, obviously, when we break down that tape. And we'll dive a little deeper to talk about the rush 3, drop 8. Can it work against Auburn? What should LSU's defensive game plan be? Here at the end, we actually had a 15-yard flag. So once again, if Mississippi State would have just been slightly more aggressive, they probably would have found themselves into field goal range. Once again, coaches, you don't want to back into halves. You don't want to back into wins. It's just not smart. Coaches like to back into first halves and the end of games. You just don't want to do that. Once again, not a good face mask penalty. The guy wasn't going anywhere, and it set up for this Hail Mary. So, for me, I got to say this. LSU was phenomenal. Let's look at this kid in the Allen Iverson jersey and Oklahoma City. I like that. Okay, but still, you set up for the Hail Mary, and Ali Gay, despite almost getting called for that personal foul penalty, he actually gets a good sack here at the end. But once again, this was just not great for Mike Leach at all. So I hope you guys enjoyed this film study. Obviously, comment down below. Give me your honest thoughts on Max Johnson. Anything you want to talk about. Obviously, we touched on a lot of different things, including that very underrated Trey Palmer punt return touchdown. Not for a touchdown, but punt return. It was good to have him back, fully healthy, ready to go. And then let me know if you guys want a second half film study. I'll quit doing these. But apparently you guys are enjoying the Sunday first half film studies, and obviously, we'll just keep churning it out, baby. Let's go. What was that? It is. Good to have Holly Gay back. Power Hour LSU bomb. I think. Oh, yeah, we're doing spaghetti tonight. Let's go.